Hello, welcome to the Evolve Pipedrive podcast, where we talk all things Pipedrive, sales, apps, and Pipedrive Marketplace. My name is Bruce Bignell. I own and run Evolve. Evolve is a technology consultancy based in the UK, working globally. We help businesses get more out of Pipedrive through implementation, consultancy, and training. Today, I have the great pleasure to be joined by Vlastimil Vodička, the founder and CEO at Pipebooster.io. Pipebooster is a sales tool that integrates natively with your CRM to keep your data up to date. I know a lot of people will be very interested to see what these guys are up to. So I'm very much looking forward to this conversation with Vlastimil for a couple of reasons. One, because Vlastimil is one of those people that lives and breathes all things startups and entrepreneurship, having bootstrapped his first million with his parent company, Lead Picker, with his co-founder. He's now built a technology startup that we'll talk about today that was recognized as top of the 50 fastest growing technology companies by Deloitte in 2019 and 2021. And because he is a self-confessed adventurer, he's training to be an ultralight aircraft pilot. He has a judo black belt and is a BJJ practitioner. So I think we're in safe hands. So Vlastimil, welcome. Please introduce yourself and Pipebooster to our audience.
Thank you for having me here. We built Pipebooster. We have already been working with more than 700 customers for 42 countries, and Pipebooster is our new SaaS tool that everybody can try for free. What it does is that Pipebooster connect to your Pipedrive, or you can just work with any spreadsheet or Excel file, and then when connected, what happens is that Pipebooster enrich all your contacts with the right LinkedIn profile, and then a robot visits this LinkedIn profile on a frequency that you set up, like once a week, every 2 weeks, one a month. If the person that you are monitoring, your customer or your late stage prospect or your user, change their job, then Pipebooster notifies you and immediately create a new lead in your CRM system. So it avoids the risk of churn, but at the same time, if somebody who already knows you moved to a new company, this is a great business opportunity. So Pipebooster makes sure you don't miss this, and it creates a lead in the CRM system, and with integration that we do through Zapier, you can even get a notification on Slack, or it drafts a template or drafts a personalized message that you can just double check and then send to your prospect.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. So you've been around since around 2015. What does the team look like now from a dev, sales, marketing, ops? Obviously, if you're servicing such a large behind you there, it spans the globe, right? So, what does the team look like?
So we are now around 25 people. Most of the people are in the development, and we are expanding our team as we need more people in marketing. Of course, so always looking for new people in dev and product. So if you are interested to join us, just ping me a message.
Yeah, no, we'll put your LinkedIn in the description as well if you want for the direct reach out. And where's HQ?
It's in Prague,
Prague.
Prague, Czechia. Yeah.
Nice. So why I find it, so I've seen the product demo now, so I know how this can be used. But what would a typical customer look like for you guys? Because I can see some great industries that this would be a
Mhm.
great fit for. But what's a typical Pipebooster customer look like?
So we build a product for salespeople and marketing people and the RevOps people. But from the customer feedback, we realized that there is much more opportunities. Me personally, I come from the VC background. So if I give you an example, we have customers, venture capital funds, who are tracking their portfolio, not only the founders but all the employees from companies that they invested in, and they want to get notified when any of the startup operators or somebody who was really involved in the company move somewhere else or
Mm.
start something new. So this is really interesting use case that we can solve. But like the typical customer is somebody who is in the revenue operations, who basically set up Pipebooster once, and then salespeople or marketing people are working just with Pipedrive, so you don't need to leave your CRM. It works on the background.
Yeah, so that RevOps is quite an interesting piece there because they're looking at maybe how the data's handled for the business. So you'd see this project to enable your frontline sales force and or marketing team to have the latest data, so it doesn't either churn or just get lost because you're sending marketing emails to or sales emails to people that don't work at a place anymore. You would actually have the system in place from a RevOps standpoint um, to have that run across the business. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's actually very simple. You want to make your salespeople busy with leads that are more likely to convert, and once you set up Pipe Booster, you basically keep getting leads on autopilot, and those leads are your past customers or late stage prospect who spend already time, discussing with you the deal, but they never crossed the final line, so they didn't buy because reasons that might be out of their control. But
Mm.
in the new company, if you reconnect with them, then especially in the first 90 days when they are setting up, it might be a really good time because they are in the buying phase. They want to, show so they have the energy. They want to show off that they are, bringing new innovations into the company. So it's definitely interesting,
Yeah,
actually.
that's a really good point, right? So the first 90 days, I know everyone probably recognizes that from LinkedIn, so they've changed within 90 days, but there is some psychology to that. So not just what have you done in your first 100 days? So people track that, whether it's a CEO, whether that's the president of the United States, what have they done in the first 100 days? So getting their feet under the ground, under the desk, understanding the lay of the land for sure. So researching how things go. But then to your point, this is such a great time to reach out to people because they want to put their own imprint on the business, right? So, do you have any research around that? That's a good time beyond anecdotal. Is there any research that you guys have carried out there?
It really depends on the position.
Mm.
But for example, if and we actually heard this from the Salesforce guys
Mm.
that the most effective way how to sell their CRM is when the sales manager leaves the company and joins a new company,
Yeah.
because then he wants to bring his tools, his CRMs
Hmm.
into the new company, and he's, basically building everything up from scratch. And if you notice, if you get notified in time, yeah, you can make sure that no competitors are ahead of you.
Yeah.
And
I think
and I'm still talking about this is somebody who already knows you.
yeah.
So, like one thing that we notice with every customer is that every CRM system we look at, it's not about that 20% of people change jobs every year. Every CRM that you look at, when you firstly start monitoring them, you realize that 50-60% of your CRM is already a graveyard of old contacts
Mm.
because they all already moved somewhere else. And it costs a lot of money to build this relationship. So why you don't follow them to the new company?
Mm.
So this is really important to consider, and maybe that's why RevOps, because they're looking for the most efficient ways how to bring money to the new company.
Yeah, I mean, RevOps is a just interesting, or sales ops, right? It's an interesting term. I mean, some people debate there is no difference between sales ops and revs ops. Some people will say that they're very different. But yeah, I was just going to say, I always find Salesforce ex-Salesforce users quite interesting. They're usually quite polarized. So some people will love it because of the insights you can get from it. Other people hate it because it's a system that's not that easy to use. And so I typically put it down to Salesforce is terrible for the this is an unpopular opinion, right? So, or maybe not unpopular, but it's not great for the individual contributor, so the people on the ground, your sales team. But it's great for the managers and the board because you can get whatever you can rinse it and move your data however you want. But for the individual users, it's not a brilliant piece of software. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I agree. So with Pipedrive, you can build anything you want. You can test, try a couple of new things. You can really easily implement new ideas. With the other CRMs, yeah,
well,
like
there are plenty of
Salesforce.
other CRMs available. Yeah,
Yeah. Then yeah, you need to to try something new. It's very much that you need to get in touch with the Salesforce admin, and then it's. I think that it's also that if you're a really large company, you rather pay somebody to build it from you, and then you pay them again to to customize everything.
yeah.
And I believe that it's also about the in what stage the company is and how comfortable you are with trying a couple of things,
Yeah.
etc.
No, for sure. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the kind of it's very on which we're recording this in Q1 of 2023. So the kind of the rise of GPT-3 and other kind of open API and other uh, software like this or language models like that. What gets you excited about this tech? Like, so, and could it be used, within Pipebooster and something like this?
So we started implementing the GPT-3 API already when it was released in
Mhm.
November. So that's not the GPT chat. That's the technology
Yeah.
which the chat is basically based on the GPT technology. So we are implementing the older model, the GPT-3, into the processes, and it's great for it's very great to personalize messages, and it's great to categorize and classify companies. So if I give you one more venture capital use case,
Mhm.
is that if you are a large VC fund and you have a lot of companies that you invested in, and you are tracking all the founders and managers and startup operators, you don't want to be notified when so you want to be notified when they start a new startup. But how do you find it out? We What we have on our roadmap is that we will implement GPT-3 to read the description of the new company, read the description of company from the LinkedIn, from the website, and based on this, GPT-3 can categorize it into certain industry, so so it can decide if this is your field of interest, if it meets your
Mhm.
investment strategy or not. And also it is able to decide if this new company is a startup or not. So basically two things that we are using it for: to classify and categorize. Is it
Mhm.
startup? Yes, no. If not, not interested. If yes, then is it fintech or is it healthcare?
Yeah.
Then I want to get notified and I want to create lead in my CRM system.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get yeah. So otherwise, you get a lot of ice cream shops
I was
and
going to say all
yeah,
volunteer positions
restaurants.
that they've taken a board position at a charity. I mean, you don't
Exactly.
necessarily need to know that, right? You care about their new high growth startup that they're going to.
Yeah. A lot of advisory companies, etc.
Yeah.
So
No, very, very cool. Yeah, I think the whole sentiment analysis piece and just summarizing meetings and notes is going to be huge. So what does that lead into the kind of future roadmap for you guys? Is there obviously you mentioned you're hiring, so team expansion, features. What's down the pipe for you guys?
So we like in the short term, we are also going to introduce extension in or app in the Google Workspace market Google Work Marketplace, and we want to work with the other systems as well to make sure that it doesn't really matter if you are using. So you can combine if you're using Pipedrive and then Gmail or maybe Microsoft 365. So we want to be really flexible and implement. We don't want to teach you new tools. We want to implement into the workspace, sorry, into
Mm.
the workflow that you are already using. So we are implementing a couple of other tools. And GPT-3, this is definitely on the roadmap. So we already tested it internally, and it works pretty well. So personalization, so to personalize and write better messages, it's a next step.
Very cool. So talking about, you mentioned Pipedrive a couple of times there. So Pipebooster and Pipedrive, how do they integrate? Like, what's the yeah? How do the two systems integrate there?
It's very easy. So we have an app on the marketplace, but the easiest way how to integrate with Pipedrive is if you sign up on pipebooster.io and you create a new project, and as a source you choose Pipedrive, and
Hmm.
then it takes one click to authorize your Pipedrive account with Pipebooster, and it pulls basically the data. Before it pulls the data and starts monitoring your contacts for job changes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. We did record a short demo of that, so we'll have that in description below to kind of give you top level overview, and we'll have links for a trial below as well. But Vlastimil is also kind enough to give us a discount code for anyone that's listening to this, which basically I think it's $118 off. But we'll,
Exactly.
we'll,
Yeah.
we'll go through it in a bit more detail a bit later. But yeah, so you can give it a try for yourself there. So
Yeah.
just as we kind of come to the end here, what is your story? Obviously, from being in VC, so obviously VC world, to running this starting so leads picker with your co-founder, generating your first, like bootstrapping your first million. What is that? What is that story? How did you find your co-founder? What's led you to go from strength to strength? In the last, what's it, 7 years or more now?
Yeah. So it's a great question and a great journey full of up and downs as it is. Um, as it is quite usual. So my background is venture capital. So I used to work in a local venture capital fund here for more than 5 years, and also previous to that, I used to live in Vienna, Austria, and I was the guy responsible for pipeline generation, basically generating leads on interesting startup companies for one other venture capital fund.
For
And
those people that don't that were working before the internet, or not, only have worked on the internet, how were you finding those startups then? Was that a lot of calling highly networked people, and how did that used to work?
No. It was a lot of about Googling, going through different databases, going through media, and this was actually the time where the idea sparked.
Mm.
And I had a long-term buddy, my 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 best buddy, my nerdy buddy from childhood,
Yeah.
from the elementary school. And by the way, this is not our first company. So we started with my co-founder already at the high school, and we failed twice. And the first company that we built was when we were actually 17. So we had to register a company a bit later, and we were pretending it's being run by our parents. And yeah, so basically I met my co-founder at the elementary school, and we know each other for, I think it's like 27 years already.
So
So
what is it? Okay, so I want to press on this. So what is it that you both stayed together? So elementary school, you started the first company at 17, second company, and obviously now where you are now. What is it that's kept you two together? How are you complementing each other? What's the strengths that he's bringing to the table and you're bringing?
like one important thing to mention now is that we already have much more very talented people in the team already.
Yeah.
So we would not be able. So we failed twice when when doing it just two of us.
Yeah.
So I believe one of the big reasons why this is working is that we were lucky to have other people who are here with us now for more than 5 years. But to answer your questions, this is very simple. My co-founder Jan, he's the smartest person I've ever seen, and he is, like. This child in the classroom that is, I don't know, 9 years old, that can code. So this was him.
Yeah.
So I remember I think it was maybe like the, I don't know, age of 9 or 10, when we had the computer class, and he came with this. It was not even this CD, it was the flash disk, and he coded his own computer game. So we all wanted to see what is the computer game about, and then he turned it on, and it was ugly. It was really ugly.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, come on, let's play. Let's play. I don't know what was the, yeah. Let's play Tetris or something
Yeah.
else. This
Something else.
game is shit. Yeah. So yeah, this was the beginning. But he was basically coding since childhood, and then later on, he joined a search engine company. He was the developer. He was also involved in the natural language processing department. So.
Mm.
So he is the guy who knows the tech, and I was the guy who was talking. Yeah.
Yeah. and so it's still positive now, and you're going into the future. The two of you, but yeah, the two of you. So it's positive now, and growing that team. I think that's really really important, right? So
Mhm.
hiring people that are experts in their own field to allow you to just grow the business, I guess.
Yeah, super important. So our team is a mixture of people from like really different people, I would say. So we have really talented people who join us as interns 5 years ago, and now they manage they manage entire departments, and they understand the products more than me,
Yeah.
to be honest. And also we have developers from all over the world. So we have developer, for example, from so they are not based with us here in Brno. Sorry, in Prague. They are based in Brno, which is the second largest city. But a lot of them works also from abroad. Like we have people from Ukraine, we have people from Morocco. We have yeah. So we are quite international team.
No, I love it. Well, thank for that. So as we look to wrap up now, I've got a couple of quick fire questions. So quick fire
Mhm.
questions, they can be long form answers, but it's a just a few short questions. Pipe Booster, your favorite use case that you've seen someone use the platform for?
The favorite use case is the simplest one: tracking your past customers and late stage prospects. And when they leave, you get notified, so you can reconnect with them in the new company, and at the same time, you avoid churn, and you make sure that you're not losing the customer because your internet champion or your contact person left. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
love it. So top tips for those getting started using the platform, and for those that are maybe more seasoned pros that want to get a little bit deeper and use some different functionality.
So for the ones that are starting, I would recommend to create first, let's say, two, three separate projects. One to track customers, second to track late stage prospect, and third, for example, if you are a SaaS company, you are maybe curious why those users who were active are not responding anymore. So
Mm.
that would be the third project, the churned users, and I would track them all separately, and based on their job, basically each project will trigger different outreach message. So
Hmm.
because you want to reach out with a different message to customers, with different message to somebody who was almost your customer but didn't buy, and differently to someone who was not really in touch with you but was using your product. So this is what I recommend. And for the more seasoned users, one like hint: you don't need to track only your database. I mean, I mean, you don't need to track only your customers or people that you really know, but you can create a list from LinkedIn and start tracking, for example, entire market.
Mm.
So, if you are in sales, you know that often, imagine that you are selling new, let's say, new solution for new accounting system, or a new solution
Hmm.
for accountants in fintech in general. Very often it's really difficult to break into a company just because the former CFO, or somebody who's responsible for the finance or
Well, they have
operation,
their toolkit and they know what their toolkit is. They love their toolkit.
and they don't want to change, so they are
Yeah.
using accounting softwares from middle ages, and they don't want to change it. It's bad. They burn a lot of money to maintain it. But as long as they are in the company, you will not be able to sell them.
Yeah.
So what you can do, imagine this on entire market. So if you define your market and you define who are the people, those gatekeepers, who don't want you basically to change their toolkit.
Mm.
Uh, you can basically put into Pipebooster a list of all the let's say prospects,
Yeah.
and get notified when they leave, or
Mm.
when there is somebody new who just joined the company. And
That's
then it could be a great opportunity to get in touch with them and reconnect again. You can even mention who was the previous person that left, and
yeah.
you were in touch with her. But this is something that we would that I would recommend for pros. And if you want to know how to set it up, just reach out to us, and I think we will be putting on our website a
Yeah.
video, like step by step, how we can do this.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a really awesome use case. I like the in my head. I just had the project as, so it's not necessary, because it might be an account that you really want to get into, but you know that someone's always going to shoot it down, right? So so I had like a laggard, so people that are just not going to change. So that
mm,
so it's actually a not a positive. The opportunity isn't with the individual, but that individual leaving creates the opportunity in the business. So yeah, that's a really great use case. Um, Anything that you would like to mention in closing before we sign off today?
So I would encourage everybody to go to our website at pipebooster.io. You can sign up and try the tool for free. And as we mentioned, we prepare for listeners of this podcast a promo code, which is 118 off in capitals,
Yeah,
and you will get basically credits in the value of $118, which will cover the pro subscription, and you can
awesome.
try to track 3,000 of your contacts.
Well, great. Well, Vlastimil, thank you for that. So that discount code is 118 off. But we will have it in the links in the description, whether you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, as well as even a LinkedIn note. So if everyone does want a job, you can reach out direct as well. So um, thank you once again, and that's it for this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. At Evolve, we are obviously Pipedrive elite partners, so we help you with implementation, consultancy, and training, and just helping you get more from Pipedrive. If you found this useful, please consider liking, subscribing, or sharing with someone that they would find useful. And Vlastimil, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.